Welcome to this session of Philly by Night. This is our Fledglings table, and this session is called So Much to Do, So Little Time. Following trigger warnings for this particular session will be Tremere, generalized, gaslighting, gaslighting and manipulation, use and abuse of disciplines, Ventru, generalized, and potential animal abuse, drug use and abuse, and if we come across any more trigger warnings as we go along, we will add them as we go. Now, let me introduce to you my players. I'm Kendall. I am at Kendall the Elemental on TikTok. If you find me anywhere else, no, you didn't. Now, let me introduce you to my players.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Louise, whatever name she's going by, Songbird Polini, the descendant of Loden Ventru, and you can find me on all socials at Dragon of the Dark Rose. Any others? No, you didn't.
Hello, I am Tackle Monk. I will be playing Calvin Cal Anderson of the Gangrel. You can follow me anywhere at Tackle Monk. If you find me at weird places, it's not me. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Ink or Cowboy Ink on both TikTok and Instagram. I will be playing Persephone Percy Marinos, also a baby Ventru.
Hi, I'm AJ Cinematic. I am playing Madeline Clark, the absolute babe of the entire city and the baby of the Tremere.
Anyways, tonight, all of our fledglings are going off to do their various personal objects of what they are looking to get into before they go and meet up with their coterie. Today, we will be going through some of the things that you may not see usually, because usually these things are done in solo sessions on the server, but as a treat. We're going to show you some of the background activity that our kindred get up to in Philadelphia. The first one we will start with is Persephone Percy Marinos of the Ventru. So, Percy.
Yes.
Today was rousing and waking up, making sure that you were able to feed was pretty successful. You even managed to do it all on your own. Well, outside of Melano, but Melano's always there, so.
Melano's help is always appreciated.
Yes, we always love the judgmental doggo. But as you are rousing from your day's sleep, as you are finishing up hunting, is there anything on Percy's mind in particular?
Currently? Yep. Mainly her slight confusion, for lack of a better term, over her newfound feelings for her coterie mate, Songbird, specifically. Some confusion, and also some feeling a bit torn between wanting to be the cold, hard Ventru and these newfound feelings of friendship? Question mark. And probably also those feelings translating as well into missing her childhood friend.
Now, I imagine that these feelings are a bit hard to come to terms with, considering the way that Percy was brought into this life. She was, for lack of a better term, groomed into it. She was willingly brought into becoming a Ventru. And she was taught very firmly that other kindred will manipulate you. That these people are not your friends. They can be your allies. They can be clan. But you do not trust them. And I imagine that is warring a bit with how Persephone views these newly blooming feelings that she is having for what she probably considers possibly a friend, likely a battle buddy or something like that.
She's telling herself it's a battle buddy, an ally.
You can kind of feel your beast pull on that. How useful this person could be in the future. That it wouldn't be difficult to get her to do what you want. You don't even need to evoke the gifts of the blood. She seems like a people pleaser.
And she has shown some what's the word? Willingness to follow orders given to her. Percy hasn't tested quite that, but he's noticed somewhat. Follow directions.
Okay. Does Percy keep in contact with this old friend of hers?
I would imagine somewhat. Probably not like texting him daily or anything, but occasional check-ins. Probably, certainly more than she keeps in contact with, say, her parents.
Yeah, that makes sense. So as you are going about your normal waking routine as you go hunt, you will at some point look down at your phone. And you've got a text message from a familiar name. Do you have him down as Leonidas? Do you have his full name down, or do you just have that familiar Leo written down?
You know, for him, probably just Leo.
You would see the name Leo come across the front of your phone, and if you go to unlock it and read it, you would see a text message that reads, "Hey, I'm coming out of the hole of a project. Do you want to hang out tonight?"
So, kind of smile a little bit and text back. Sure, sounds fun.
He would send you back the location of like a local gaming store.
So we're very, because it's Leo and he knows a little more about her than most. It's exciting.
Yeah, maybe this time I'll actually get you to buy a deck.
We'll see about that.
One of these days. I'll see you there. And that'll be So, does Percy start to make her way over that way?
Yeah. So
Okay.
leave herself dressed pretty casually, simply. She won't. Even Melina will be a little more simple, just a simple little spike collar, and so go.
Now, to get Melino into places that she normally wouldn't be, does Percy have a vest for her?
At this point, yeah, probably. Mainly because the thought definitely occurred to me last night. But yeah, she probably would at this point.
Yeah, I imagine she would. So you get Melino dressed, and Melino gives you a very accusatory look because this is not what she normally wears, and how dare you put her in this?
It's just temporary. I'll give you treats afterwards. The good treats.
You get kind of a judgmental look and a sniff.
I promise I'll find some good. I'll find some meat for you. Something raw.
The judgmental look softens just a little bit. So, are you driving or are you taking public transit?
I think public transit. She's a New York girl, and it's her childhood friend. So go public transit. For once.
So you're also putting Melino in the bag.
Yeah. So she would consider walking, but then she'll be like, into the bag with you.
Yeah, Melina will just kind of sit there while you're putting the bag on her, and the minute that you are done putting the bag on her, she will lay down. What do you do?
So, Melina, you. I'll also give you I'll also give you some wet food for dinner tonight. All wet food for dinner, not mixed into your kibble like usual.
Give me a charisma plus animal kin, please.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What?
Your dog thinks you are the prettiest person in the world, so you can add you're beautiful.
Oh, good. Chris 2, 3 plus 2. That's 5. Okay, that's not as bad a pool as I thought. Okay. What am my hunger one?
Oh no, that's good.
Okay, good.
So, you coax Melino. You promise her bribes for later. And
A pup from whatever local coffee shop happens to be open as well.
that will seal the deal on her standing up and allowing you to take her places while wearing this vest and this having to be in a bag.
The bag I will grant is, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And I'll get you a pup cup.
She kind of noses into your side and waits for to take your lead on wherever you're going.
Percy will gently scratch behind her ears.
So you take a you take a public transit from your haven with your sire. And it takes a couple of stops, but you manage to get there pretty easily. And you walk a little bit of the rest of the way because they literally called the Philly Game Shop. Once you are there, give me a wits and awareness, please.
Oh, boy. My favorite of the rolls.
Funny thing is, you have a really good pool for this. The dice bot just hates it.
Awareness for. Ponder. Well, two successes.
That's good.
Okay.
As you look around, there isn't a whole lot you really take note of. Like there are obviously people milling about. There are various forms of like other kinds of transit. There are cars, there are bikes, there are other animals. But it's easy enough for you to locate just a little bit outside of the store. Your friend, Leonidas Leo Callias. He is on the shorter side. He's always been a little short, a little scrawny. Standing at somewhere around like 5'5", 5'6". He looks like he's a little dressed up and freshly showered. He's got this some nice slacks on, a very deep blue button-up shirt that has like moons and stars and clouds on it, with a turtleneck underneath it and a necklace around his neck. He looks like he has got his nails freshly painted with little designs on them, and he's got an Apple Watch on one wrist and a bracelet that looks like a sword that was bent around his wrist that you are very familiar with because you were the one that gave it to him. And it looks like he's kind of just been fiddling with this leather box that has kind of just been tossed between his hands like he's stimming with it. Once he sees you, there is a wide smile, and you see some of that anxiety leave his bones.
Percy will smile, actually rather brightly at him. And well, you look well dressed.
He kind of looked down at himself and then looked back up at you and gave a big bright smile. Well, thanks. I've been kind of just living in like the same pair of sweats and t-shirt for like the past week because we've had some project we've been needing to work on, and sleep and food were optional. So I figured that if I was leaving the house, I should at least try and look a little nicer. Besides, I wanted to be clean.
You haven't changed much, I see. Still nerd.
I mean, yeah. I'm a nerd. You're a closeted nerd.
Don't so kind of like dramatically put a hand over her heart. Don't you can't reveal my secrets.
He kind of looks around dramatically, and then he'll lean in. I think you're safe. Then he'll kind of nod over to the game shop. You been in Philly for long?
Slightly out of character question. How? It's been like a few months, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes.
All right. So he'll nod. Yeah. A couple months. Enough time to get more or less settled.
Nice. So have you seen this game shop, or have you been too cool to come and visit, to come and check out local gaming scene?
Been a little busy, but
Yeah, too cool, too cool, too cool. I get you. I see you.
you know me.
I know you. Which is why he kind of just gestures. You're gonna take me in to be my big scary person, so that I don't get put into a toilet this time, while we go into the big scary gaming shop.
I would never let that happen. So
His expression will soften considerably, and he kind of just smiles up at you. I know.
kind of, you know, in a rare show of affection for Percy, so briefly put an arm around his shoulders and then pull away again and pet Melano.
And he knows Percy. He respects that she has very particular personal space and always has. But he will kind of wrap an arm around maybe the middle of her back and give her a squeeze back in return. And then once you two let go of each other, he kind of just wiggles his fingers and makes a gesture. All right, come on, this is where the magic happens.
Just lead the way.
And he will kind of proudly walk Percy into the gaming store. It is pretty nice. As you are looking around, I'm gonna continue off of the successes that you got for your wits and awareness. It is a pretty nice gaming store. It has a big sign on the outside that's called the Philly Game Shop. There seems to be a knight chess piece that has a rainbow mullet and a unicorn horn that is the mascot on the sign, and it is also painted onto one of the windows. As you head in, there seem to be a lot of tables that are set up. It looks like this place could probably be used for various gaming amongst nerds, or rented out for full-on magic parties or any other kind of card playing game. There are along the walls books for tabletops, games, various any kind of cardboard crack, and a lot of trinkets that you can get, that, and also dice. There is a big stand that just has a lot of those Chessex dice that are on it. Also, every table there has a thing of hand sanitizer on it.
A quaint little place.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think we moved here around the same time. I mean, I was 6 months ago, but you Percy would vaguely recall that her dear friend had gotten a job with the Philadelphia Eagles and had not looked back.
How have things been going? I mean, clearly busy. If this is the first time in a while you've been out, but
Oh yeah, things have been, it's good busy, but it's also just it's hard to remember to breathe sometimes when it gets this busy. And his voice kind of shrinks as he's realizing he's admitting to not eating or sleeping or drinking a whole lot in the past week. There's almost a nervous glance over to Percy.
You said I'd be sending you reminders.
That actually wouldn't hurt.
I'll make a note of that.
Yeah. So, what are you doing here? So you moved down here. So you got some big fancy lawyer gig or something?
Yeah. I've been. I found an inn with Harrison and Co. It's a local law firm. It's
Okay. His eyes will get a little wide, and he kind of just like bounces on his toes a little excitedly before reminding himself that he needs to chill out because it might freak you out a little bit because he's full of nervous energy.
yeah.
But he gets that big wide smile for you again, and he'll say, "Oh wow, that's a big firm. I read about them in the paper like a couple of months ago. They bought out some of the old firms around here. That is really neat. How'd you get an in with them? I've heard it's like really super hard to get jobs with them, like even internships, because it's like super competitive. Because he kind of pauses as he kind of like does the mental math. You're not the only lawyer I know. I know people that have tried to get try to get into those jobs because of how well they pay."
I managed to impress one of my professors. He helped me. He seemed impressed with my work. And he was nice enough to offer me a little internship of sort.
Okay. Percy, give me a manipulation plus persuasion. Because you're not lying.
Yeah.
But this is a very warping of the truth.
True. True. It's probably a bit weird for Percy to be. He's used to being more honest with him, but obviously can't be too honest in this case. Manipulation. Where's my persuasion? Oh, well, it's a good thing my manipulation is.
If you would like to, you are allowed to blood sage.
Yeah, I might do that. I might accidentally. Yeah. Because I didn't realize I have no persuasion.
Oh,
Good. What should I put? One. What is my blood potency again? 1. Yeah. 2. Where did that go? 1. Yeah. Okay. Oh well. That's a increased hunger.
Okay. So you are now at hunger 2.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 successes is enough to convince him. He looks legitimately impressed. And it's almost like of course my best friend, my genius best friend Percy would be able to get in with one of the best law firms on the East Coast. You kind of feel your beast kind of purr that kind of affirmation from someone that you hold so dear. That eventual arrogance kind of twisting up in your gut, like, of course you would be able to get into one of the best law firms on the East Coast. Was there even a doubt?
Yeah. It was,
But as you But as you would continue to talk to Leo, he would regale you about recent activities in his life, just like little things. Like his family hasn't moved into this area, but he has been making friends, sort of, to varying degrees, mostly coworkers. He would kind of lead you to sit down and start kind of fiddling with that box he has. He flips it open. You see is a deck of magic cards inside.
Of course.
Is Percy familiar with magic?
Mm. Because ink is it? I'm gonna say probably not. Although I would imagine Percy has slightly more knowledge than I do, considering he's grown up with Leo.
Yeah, I imagine that he has also gone through different phases of cardboard crack. Like they probably went through their Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh phases together, but she has a little less knowledge about magic because magic is probably more of a recent cardboard crack phase.
Mhm.
If that would make sense.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you'd see him just kind of start stimming with the cards because he knows you're not going to play against him. And he would go, so there is someone that I wanted to talk to you about because I met this guy. And
Oh.
he starts to get a little nervous. He starts to fidget with the cards a little more, kind of twist his fingers around a little bit. There is almost like a little dreamy smile on his face, and you can see that he is starting to blush a little bit.
And Percy will, yeah. So lean in a little bit. Tell me about him then. Although, if he, well, I guess he seems to be making you happy enough for now. But if that changes, this will kind of mime a little flourish with a sword, with invisible sword.
Oh, no, he's great. He's an absolute gentleman, and but yeah, he's really nice. He's really sweet, and he's into. You kind of see him start to stutter and stop himself as he starts talking again, and takes a deep breath, and he will start.
At that, Percy, noticing his nervousness, Percy will kind of gesture to Melano to move a little closer to him and kind of reach over and put one of his hands on Melano.
Mm-hmm. And Melano will promptly kind of just put her head in his lap, and he will just start absent-mindedly petting her, relaxing a little bit, and he will visibly really relax at that. And then he'll look at you. He's really smart. He's smart, but he's also like really into like this, all of this stuff that I'm into, and it's like he's really, really strong. And he got, that Sarah gets a little dreamy again, and he kind of shakes himself out of it. We've only gone on like a couple of dates so far, but I really like him, and he's nice. He's really nice.
Don't leave me in suspense. What's his name?
His name is Kieran Uchimura.
Well, he sounds.
Yeah, he's really, really handsome. Oh wait, I have a picture. I have a picture. He kind of like holds up both of his fingers, and then he reaches into his pocket to pull out his phone again, and then he will pull out a his phone, and he'll show you a couple of. He'll flip through the pictures, and he will show you a picture of himself with a what he looks like a bit of an older gentleman. Not by much. Maybe by like 5 to 10 years on them. He's an Asian American. He's got short, like moderately short black hair. It's kind of flipped up. It looks like he is wearing some kind of Henley. He is obviously very toned, even through the clothes that he is wearing. Seems to have a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. He's pretty handsome. And I'm going to drop a picture of him into your chat.
Don't mind Percy making slight mental notes to maybe do some digging, but we'll leave that on. All right. All right. Not bad looking. I can see what you see in him.
He's hot. You just are always pretty and surrounded by pretty people.
And it's also Percy, and she's not gonna admit to any kind of things.
Leo just kind of states that outright. But he'll grin because he knows Percy.
I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. It seems you definitely seem to like him a lot.
I do. We've gone on a good couple of dates. He's really nice, and he's like stoic like you are sometimes. Because from what he's told me so far, he's like been in the military and all. But he's like nerdy military. But yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. I'd actually at some point I'd like to introduce you to. Because I don't want to get in too deep with this guy if he doesn't pass your sniff test.
I would like that. And if he's going to be spending a lot of time around you, of course I'll be willing to meet him. Got to make sure he's not going to be dunking you in any toilets.
Oh, he'd never.
He better not. I have been honing my fencing skills.
Are you gonna bring a sword when you come to meet him?
So kind of reach up and like tussle his hair a little bit. We'll see.
He gives a nervous giggle, but he'll nod. Okay, but since I have you at a table now, you're learning how to play magic. No choice.
I see. I've fallen into your trap.
You have indeed. You're going to be trapped here now for at least like an hour, and yes. And from there, Leo will start to teach Percy how to play magic.
Of course.
And that's going to take a couple of hours, mostly because he will want to play against her once she gets the hang of it. But that's a good idea. Go ahead and give me an intelligence plus wits roll. This isn't a memory thing. This is just more of a strategy kind of thing.
What is intelligence? Intelligence plus what? Sorry?
Wits.
Okay. 4, 5, 6. All right. Okay. successes.
Very nice. It's not difficult for you to get the hang of. It's just a strategy game. It's almost like the war games you've played with your sire. There are just many different strategies that you could take with this kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, you learn that the kind of deck he's playing is called a black and white deck, also known as a vampire deck.
Oh. Interesting.
So as Leo and Percy start to play Magic for the night, we will head into our next vignette. And as we head into our next vignette, the next fledgling we will be going in to see is our lovely Cal. So Cal, as you are rousing from day sleep, it's an hour before sundown, and you can feel that you're not hungry. You woke up. Your beast did not nag on you. Well, it did nag on you a little bit as you roused. So you can feel that hunger kind of pulling at your inside. But it's not. It is almost incomparable to the secondary feeling that you can feel twisting your gut. Your bond is almost. You can feel it. You can feel that craving rising up in you for your sire's blood. And not because you want to completely consume her, you just. Her blood is the best that you have ever tasted. And it's never been a question about outright asking for it. Because she's never given you the chance. So you pick fights. You try to make her bleed. I imagine this is part of why he wants to be able to defeat her in a fair combat. So he can regain that taste just one more time. I mean, just one more taste wouldn't do any harm, right? So how is Cal feeling and dealing with that?
He's not really dealing well whatsoever. He had a brush almost with death with the werewolf. Then to watch his sire get her arm ripped off is a lot for him. And then he hurt Mitch with his words, so he's just not good at the moment whatsoever. And he's just hitting his bag as hard as he can to try to throw out the feelings, but it's just not working.
Okay. So you're trying to like work out the sads, work out the bad feelings.
That is what he's trying. It's not working.
Okay. Yeah, I won't make you roll for it. So she is so as you are kind of punching the bag, kicking it, trying to put all as much force into it without breaking it. You can feel that control kind of waver, that craving kind of taking hold. It is twisting inside of you, and it feels a little desperate. You can hear Acorn kind of from behind you, kind of sitting on the couch watching you. Hey. The ceiling is creaking.
The what? This what?
The sky is creaking.
What are you talking about, Acorn?
Give me a wits and awareness.
Oh, why Why are you doing this? Okay, there we go. Okay, that was weird. 4 successes.
Nice. You will notice as you kind of look up at the ceiling where the bag is hanging from that there is this slight creaking sound from where it hung. This craving is making it hard for you to control yourself.
Kyle's gonna stop hitting the bag. He's just gripping it hard as he's just so frustrated. He doesn't know how to let it out. He doesn't know how to fix it. He can go back to the park, but that's just going to end in his death. So he doesn't know what to do. So he's just going to hold it for a bit, try to take deep breaths, and try to find some kind of center.
Okay. Give me a composure plus resolve. Make sure to include your 2 hunger.
Okay. Oh no! I'm gonna fix that.
Okay.
Okay, it fits.
All right. So, as you concentrate in order to regain some sense of control, to calm yourself even a little bit, you can feel that rebellion of your beast, that raw animalistic nature kind of growling up from the pit of your stomach of, no, she was Pack. No, she was ours. No. You're able to soothe it. You're able to push it down. You feel a little tugging on the sleeve of your shirt.
He'll look down.
You'll see Acorn staring at you. I know you're angry and you're frustrated. Can I climb up?
Yeah, you can climb up.
You will instantly scale the length of your arm and up and on your shoulder and kind of tuck into to the side of your neck. You can feel him kind of just like rubbing his head against you. It's very much in the way of comfort. Does Cal feel comforted by this?
He does. He knows that Acorn doesn't really do this a lot. So when Acorn does do it, he does feel at least a little bit better and a little bit more calm down.
Hmm. At any point, does Cal have his phone nearby?
Yeah, it probably has like a he probably has like a ringtone or something, so like he could hear it.
As you you kind of you hear the sound of your text message going off.
Kyle's gonna first reach up and pet the top of Acorn's head, and will walk over and pick up his phone to see what the text message is.
Okay. It is from one of your fellow volunteers at the Hawk Sanctuary. They are asking if you are able to come in that night. That they have a new one that they are trying to words rehabilitate.
Kyle messages back that he is available tonight.
Okay. They will send you back a big thanks, a thumbs up, and they will also send you a PDF file on the hawk in question.
He is going to open it.
Okay. As you open it up, you would see a picture of what looks like. I will actually send you a picture of this bird because it is goofy looking. It looks goofy to me. It looks like a mix between a hawk and an owl. You would see it doesn't have. Yeah, it's a little goofy looking, isn't it?
Oh, it's that's a hawk?
Yeah,
That does not look like a hawk.
it's a hawk. I'm not going to make you roll anything more because all the information is in the file. As you're reading through it, you will see that it is called a Northern Harrier. They are a type of hawk, and they are highly endangered in the Northeast because of various things that have happened with their natural habitats and various agriculture. You would see that this one is a juvenile, so it doesn't look like that yet. The colors in its feathers are kind of a little more muted, and it seems a lot smaller. There seems to be a go ahead and give me an intelligence or wits plus investigation as you're looking at this, or survival.
Thank you. I was like, I have no investigation. Because I just don't trust this bot. I'm just gonna take half. That's 4 successes.
Okay. And you're using wits and survival, right?
What's in survival?
Okay. This is a Northern Harrier. They are very endangered within the Northeast, North America. They are. This one looks like it's probably maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 months old. It's missing a good few of its feathers along its breast. You would see along the notes in this file that someone had attempted to keep it as a pet, so it may not be returnable to the wild.
Okay. Okay, Kyle will take that all in and start thinking of a regimen and what he can do to help rehabilitate the bird, knowing that it's not going to be able to go back into the wild. So he's just trying to think of ways to make the bird comfortable and potentially find a good place to have it settled in the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. As he is thinking about this, go ahead and give me an intelligence plus survival. This is a sliding scale difficulty, so bestial fails will only count if you get no successes.
Okay. Okay, that is 3.
Okay. As you are thinking about a regimen and a way of potentially trying to wean it back into being able to go back to the wild, because it said potentially, this thing is still a juvenile. It's not like it's an adult that's been in captivity for all of its life. So there is a possibility that it could be returned to the wild. One of the best ways to do it would be to possibly find maybe an a female one of these hawks and have her rear it, or have as little hands-on rehabilitation as possible, because there are ways to rehabilitate birds without directly touching them all the time, outside of vet, like the vet visits that they are going to have while they are at this rehabilitation center.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take some work. It's going to take some time. But it is something that is doable. And if worst comes to worst, that you can set him up a habitat for him to live out the rest of his life in the sanctuary. Or you can send him up to the connected sanctuary that is up in the Hawk Mountain Sanctuary in Hawk Mountain, because it is a raptor conservation center. This is just a sister rehabilitation center.
Gotcha. Okay, then he is just going to put a feeler out for anyone else to have they seen the species in the area, and if they have, maybe we can try and find a female.
Okay. I will make a note of that in your channel. But as you are putting these feelers out, you're kind of sending off a couple of different emails, because you know a couple of people in this area that are into that kind of stuff. You're not overly connected to them. You're on like friendly terms, but hint hint, this could be a good time to make some allies. Nudge nudge. We can start a project on that later if you want.
That sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there, I put a note down. And you feel the sun start to set. You feel the sun set. You feel a calm wash over your beast, but that craving has still set in. Are you gonna head out to the Ahawk Rehabilitation Center?
He'll hunt first and then do that.
Okay. So you go out to the more forested areas of Philly, probably near the outskirts. Nowhere near where Moon was taken. But you managed to hunt successfully. You slake yourself down to Hunger 1. And then you head to the Conservation Center.
He does, yeah.
And do you drive or do you take public transit?
Yeah. Did I get my car back?
What happened to your car?
It just got left at the area, and I told Natasha about it. So
Oh yeah, it got towed. It got towed back.
Okay, yeah, he'll drive.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wits plus drive, please.
I'm just gonna take half. That's 3.
That'll work.
I don't trust his tight spots to save my life.
That's fine. So you drive to the Hawk Conservation Center. It's it's a very nice and very quaint. It is not usually meant for long-term rehabilitation or holding of animals. It is usually for short-term because they're smaller. Being in the city means while they have more access to resources in the area, they don't have as much access to space. But you get there. The girl, like the volunteer at the front desk, kind of looks up at you, gives you a very polite, very sweet smile. It's kind of harried. She looks like she's been sorting through various files. You know that this place is kind of like old school paperwork kind of deal.
Hmm.
So you will go and I imagine you kind of just pleasantries. Then ask her where the new baby is being kept.
Yes, I do.
And she will point you to one of the habitat areas that they have for young birds. Because while it isn't the most common thing for people to try and keep hawks as domesticated pets, it's also not totally uncommon. It's one of those things of people try and get either involved in the exotic animal trade or they make a point of trying to catch one. But as you go into the room, you will notice it is considerably warmer than the outside. Um, the the uh, the bird and there seems to be like a nurse, like or like a vet tech that has been sitting with the bird because and like basically like hand feeding them, like feeding them to a degree because from the paperwork that you read, it seems to have a bit of malnourishment. So they've got like a syringe and they are just like feeding.
Cal's gonna kind of wave to the vet tech. Hi, I'm Cal. I'm going to be helping the bird get better in terms of rehabilitation.
She will look up. She'll smile. Ah, yes, you're I've seen you around. Yeah, absolutely. I've only heard good things. Um,
Thank
do
you.
you think you can take over from here, or do you need me to stay?
I think I can take over. Thank you though.
Okay, then I'm going to go take my dinner because this guy has been needing to like feed and drink for like hours now. If there was something worse than arresting the people that had him that we could do, I would do it.
Trust me, I know more than you know. God, there's so many people that just don't deserve animals whatsoever.
They do not. And she kind of there's just like that quiet agreement and that very brief flash of hostility at the thought of being able to go and but teach these people a lesson about what they should do with animals. But she will nod to you. You could like see like half of it is like hunger because she hasn't been able to eat for
She's
probably
hungry.
since that kind of morning. But she will nod to you and she will make her way out. And as you approach the baby bird, what do you do?
Um, and she says it needs to be fed, so he is going to gently try to pick up the bird in the. I assume it's like in a like cloth or something.
It has been kind of like resting in like this nest of like slightly damp towels.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to try and gently pick it up, and because he saw Sparrow whispers up, "Oh, hi, buddy. I'm going to feed you and I'm going to take care of you. Make sure you grow big and strong."
Give me a charisma plus animal kin.
Ooh, 4 successes.
Very nice, very nice. You can kind of he will look up at you, and he will start to do. He would kind of like let out that like a sleepy kind of sound of, "I'm hungry." Are
Do you
you
want?
are you gonna are you mama? Are you mama? I'm hungry.
I'm gonna feed you. I'm not your mama, but I'm gonna take care of you.
I I was told that mama was going to be back, and but it's been a while. But I don't know, where am I? I want food. I'm hungry.
I'm gonna feed you. And Cal will gently pick them up and will grab the syringe to start to feed them. You're in a safe place. We're to make sure no one hurts you.
Um, there isn't a response to that. There is a brief shiver, and then he will just start to eat the food as you kind of syringe feed it to him. Because it's like there is a very, you can kind of smell it. There's like this meaty pate
Hmm.
that is like in a very thick syringe. It has a tapered nozzle. You know that there are various diets that they mix in a blender, both of the meats that they're supposed to be eating, along with various other like oils and powders that can rejuvenate young animals and help them give them all their growing hormones that they usually get out in the wild. But you will feed it, and it's quiet for a little while. What's going through Cal's head as he is feeding this bird?
He's just like he's already pent up with so much other stuff. But this is something he's done before, and it brings him joy to be able to actually take care of something that can't take care of themselves. So, as much as he's irritated and annoyed, his main focus is taking care of the bird and showing the bird love and care that other people didn't give what the bird deserved.
Okay. It takes a little while to fully feed the bird till it's fully sated. There is it takes the reason why it takes birds so long to feed is that you have to stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, and at some point he just stops and does not accept it again. He will kind of you'll kind of like wrap him up a little bit, not enough to like stifle him, but he will sit in that little nest, and you will like check the little heating pad that is buried beneath layers and layers and layers of blanket to make sure it is on a low setting. And he will start to kind of go to sleep.
Yeah.
As you are watching him, does Cal usually keep his phone on him?
In these moments, no. Well, the phone's on him, but it's on silent. When he's taking
Okay.
care of whatever animal is, it's going to be on silent until he's done with what he's doing.
Okay. So you won't notice what's on your phone right away. You'll probably see it once you get out of here. But as he is feeding the bird, he feels that kind of peace start to settle in. You'll feel that craving kind of niggling at the back of his head, but you have something else to focus on right now. You're desperately clinging to that. Tell me, where does Cal feel it when someone breaks his heart? Does he feel it in his chest? Does he feel it in his lungs? Does he feel it in his hands?
I would probably say like at the tips of his feet, just
Okay.
like above, a little bit above the toe, a little bit above the toes.
Okay. As you are standing there, you feel this ache start in the soles of your feet and start to travel up the bones of your calves, up your thighs, up your hips. You can kind of feel it almost wrapping around your heart and squeezing. And then you feel something leave. Something you care for, something that is so important that and it's not completely identifiable, but you can feel your heart break for something in that moment. And your craving is for anyone. Cal, the rating of your blood bond to Moon is now 0.
Cal is just kind of out of it, as almost as if the world doesn't exist anymore. He's now just kind of moving on the autopilot, as he was going to make sure the bird is safe and taken care of and where they need to go since they're asleep. He's going to take a moment to leave, let the front person guess that he's going home for the night, and it's just robotic. It's just he's not there. He's gonna walk off to his car, get inside, and let it out. He's gonna let the tears flow.
Okay. I imagine he kind of pulls his hoodie up and draws the strings real tight
Mm-hmm.
and just starts crying. You'll kind of feel that acorn has gotten inside of your hoodie and is now right up against your skin and is trying to comfort you as best as you can. And you cry. You feel blood tears mat down the sides of your face and into your clothes. You let it out. You barely understand what you've lost. You want it back, but you don't know what it is that you want. There's a craving for someone to have that connection again. And there's an ache. And it stays in your feet.
I think after crying for a bit, he definitely lost time. You don't know how much time he's lost, but I think he'll pull out his phone, and It's just debating on who to call.
Okay. As you pull out your phone, you see a voicemail that was left. It's from Grandpa Martin. You listen to it?
Yeah, he'll listen to it.
You press play on it. And you hear him kind of cough very roughly into the speaker of the phone. He's like, "Oh crap, the thing already started. Sorry, Cal. We should get together. We should hike sometime soon. I mean, once the season has decided to stop being a season. Pollen's crazy recently. I had to go and get medicine for a sinus infection, but we need to put something on the books. You and me. We need to go out sometime. I miss you, Cal. But I'm proud of what you've gotten done. I'm proud of what you're doing. I could have never wanted anything better for a grandson. But if you don't call me to make this hiking trip, we're gonna have words. And by words, I mean throwing a boot. Alright, I think I hung up. Wait a minute, still going. Click, and then he hangs up.
Cal is just going to put his phone to the side for now. He's just going to sit there. He doesn't know how to feel. He doesn't know if he should be happy or not. But I know what he feels the most is lost. He felt like he lost something vital. He doesn't even know what it is. And that what kind of hurts the most to him right now. So he's just going to sit in his car, and the war's not going to exist for a while.
Okay. So, as Cal zones out in his car, he will probably find the baby wipes that I imagine he keeps around for Acorn, because Acorn keeps bringing weird stuff
100%.
into the car, and probably starts wiping off his face as best he can. We will zoom out on Cal Anderson, and we will zoom back in on Maddie. And her sire, Primogen and Regent Jonathan Stanley Islington. So, Maddie,
Yes.
you rouse an hour before sundown.
Yep.
Is there
Every
anything in
night.
particular you do? I imagine she has like an established waking routine.
Yeah. It's one of two things. Either she goes off and does her own little bit of research or something, or she almost immediately goes to look for her sire, because he also wakes up an hour early.
Okay.
So today is immediately go find Islington, because there's a lot to get done tonight, and there's only so many hours of moonlight? Yeah, we'll go with moonlight. There are so many hours of moonlight in the night, so we gotta get going. Mad's got a lot of questions. There's been a werewolf attack on one of her friend's sires. There's all the weird mandragora plant stuff, and she's got lots of random samples. There's this weird book that he that they got from the black market before they moved to Philly. Like, there's a lot going on, and Maddie just has all the questions.
Okay. You would actually see a very Islington-esque letter, as much of a note as he was able to leave.
Brief, very brief.
Yes, it's like at least a paragraph or so long. But the gist of it is that he would like to meet you up in one of the, it's like probably like an observation room in in the hospital that is above the Tremere Chantry.
Oh,
once the sun is set.
Okay.
But because he wants to introduce you to an old friend of his. And he knows that you have questions, and that friend might be able to answer some of them.
Okay. I'm the one who gets to...
So since you're going to be meeting him about an hour from now up in the hospital area, what would Maddie like to do with her time?
She actually wants to talk to Jerry. She's been concerned about him lately. She's concerned about herself and her humanity. And like she was trying to ask Jerry questions over the phone, but he wouldn't answer unless it was in person. So she's gonna go just chat and catch up with him.
Okay. Well, the easiest place to find Jerry is like usually the Tremere library, because he's constantly organizing things and putting things back, and usually he's checking on your clanmate Zero and your other clanmate Serene, because he is a doter. You know this about him. You have known this about him since you were both ghouls.
Yep. So she'll go to the library looking for him.
Okay. It's not difficult to find him. He is a gangly man in his like early 30s, with like very curly hair and glasses, always wearing a sweater vest. His sleeves are rolled up to his elbows. And he seems to be pushing what looks to be like a cart that's got some of the books on him that are very reverently put on him and slightly organized.
Hi, Jerry.
He gives a little bit of a start, but he will kind of look around, and then he'll spot you, and he'll smile. Oh, Maddie! I mean, Miss Clark. Maddie, how are you doing?
Maddie.
I'm
good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I had a question for you, if you got a moment.
I have 2 moments. I have like at least 3 moments for you.
Oh, thanks. So I was asking you about. Do you think we were followed the other night? I mean, you took evasive maneuvers just to be safe, but like, you were really on edge, and that made me worried for you and us and all of us in the chantry.
Give me a wits plus insight.
Okay. 3 wits, 3 insight. Okay, 6 dice.
You may add your Auspex bonus from heightened senses.
Yes! I always love when you let me do that.
If y'all can hear that, I'm sorry. My grandparents are watching the football game.
4 successes.
Awesome. You will see that he immediately gets a little tense when you bring up that y'all were being tailed. And his gaze will flick up like he is remembering something. His spine will straighten a little bit. You'll see his shoulders kind of fall back into almost a relaxed square. And he will Then he slumps again, and he kind of gives that air of happy-go-lucky. It's the moment of tense is very strained, and it's very brief, but you catch it. Yeah, I think we were followed by someone, but I think we managed to shake it.
Well,
You know-
that's good.
I'm going to be keeping an eye on them for whatever it is for a little while, because there are. He kind of leans it. You know there are hunters in this city, right?
I don't think I knew explicitly, but I kind of just assumed that there would be hunters. I also
Yeah,
still don't know who pricked me the other night. It was probably a hunter though, because I heard a mortal hurt. Yeah, I figured there were hunters.
Okay, good. He kind of gives a sheepish smile at that, just like, oh, yeah, of course you know, you got stabbed.
I got stabbed and it hurt. I was really hungry.
And he will he'll kind of nod. But yeah, I think they might have a heavier presence, because I've been looking back into like news articles and stuff about the city. You know that I don't really know a whole lot about the whole kindred your side of the what happened, but because I can't possibly know, but there were a lot of terrorist attacks within recent memory, actually during the year. So it kind of raises that kind of those kind of people to be here.
Yeah, that was probably the war that happened. But I don't know for certain because I wasn't here, or I mean I wasn't even embraced yet.
Yeah, but so I'm not. You're probably going to be allowed to be more privy to those kind of details. They try to not let. The pause is very. He's looking for the word. They don't let servitors know all the details of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. They don't let fledglings know a lot either, but it is more than when I was a ghoul. It's certainly a difference. And she gets a little quiet. It's a little awkward remembering that just a few months ago she was a ghoul right there with him. Like, she was still mortal, she was still kind, and now because someone bit her and drained her blood, she is now above in rank of her friend, and their lives are so different. It's weird to think about. She's trying to not think about. There's other things to think about. We got like dangers in the city. Let's not think about that, Maddie. No.
Maddie can feel like in the back of her mind, her beast kind of curl almost defensively against those thoughts. Of course you were embraced before him. You are what the Tremere embody. You are perfect in your studies. You are perfect in the tasks that you take on. You are capable. You are smarter than most, almost. You are usually the smartest person in any room that you enter. Why wouldn't there be a little pride in that?
Maddie immediately tries to ignore the sound of her sires, her beast telling her these things, because her beast has been really loud lately and she is not liking how that's feeling. Especially the other night when they were fighting the white, and she was so proud of herself for hunting, and she was so proud of herself for using blood source. She did not like that feeling of her beast being so pleased with her. So she probably like unfocuses for a few seconds during the conversation with Jerry unintentionally, because she's like arguing with herself.
You kind of zone out for a moment, but you zone back in, and he's kind of just giving you like a worried stare. Like his eyes are narrowed a little bit as he's watching you. Hey, buddy.
Oh,
I got a new archaeology book if you want to look at it.
That's mean. That is so mean, Jerry.
It's
I would
almost
like,
like it's almost like I know you.
yeah. I would like to look at it later. So do you think it was hunters following us, or just something?
I It could be other kindred. It could be other ghouls. But usually those kind of tactics are used by hunters.
Okay, great.
I'm Maddie.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and keep you safe. Okay? I know you're like big, strong, scary kindred now.
Not really.
But I mean, you are pretty awesome, and you became even more awesome because you got picked. And I mean,
I'm not strong. You should see other kindred. They're so strong. It's they could break me like a toothpick.
yeah, but could they beat you mentally?
The probability is probably a 3% chance.
See? You're strong. Strength isn't always physical.
I suppose if you're using that definition of the word, you would be correct.
He kind of just gives her a warm smile. You're strong, Maddie. And you're brilliant.
Thanks. And
I'm going to keep you safe.
I know. I appreciate it. How
Is
are
this
you sure you've been okay lately? You've just seemed really anxious.
I have a history with hunters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've been a servitor for about 15 years now. And my former employer was a part of the Tremere that was a lot more regimented.
Oh, more classical.
More militaristic.
Oh, those Tremere.
Go ahead and give me a wits and awareness as you are
Oh,
looking
boy.
over Jerry. You may add
What?
your heightened senses. The difficulty is low, so you do not need the blood
Okay.
surge.
Concealed objects doesn't count.
I mean, you can't. Yeah. Actually, yeah, you can do that.
Yes, 9 dice. Let's go. I'm the best at. I'm not the best. I'm gonna be the best at investigating. Is 3 enough, or do I need more?
No, the difficulty was 2.
Okay.
You will notice that he is standing very. The way that he is standing is very. Was standing for that brief moment was very militaristic. It almost was like he had fallen into parade rest and promptly forced himself to fall out of it. Because he was relaxed. He's talking to a friend, even though that friend is his better. As you look him over, you will see that there is a tattoo of a triangle on the inside of his forearm that is peeking out just barely from underneath his sleeve. And your sense the unseen would trigger, and you would see that faint sheen of blue.
So, is it a ward or?
There Give me an intelligence plus occult.
Yes, let's go. Okay. Do I get to add aspects or no?
No.
Okay.
I will say that your sense the insane is why you're able to make this roll.
Okay. Is 2 enough?
I would say burn a willpower.
Okay, I will burn a willpower.
3!
Three!
That's what I was looking for.
Golly, I hate when Will barely does anything.
It got you to the difficulty.
I will take it.
Okay. So as you are now you're kind of just staring at the tattoo on his arm. You kind of see this you see lines underneath the tattoo. There are a couple of different wards that have been embedded in his skin. Well, there's a ward, and then there's what looks like to be a ritual.
Okay.
One of which you do not recognize. The other of which you would recognize as something called a herd ward.
So nobody else can feed off of them?
Yeah, only the Tremere.
Okay. So Maddie's kind of just staring at his tattoo for a moment. I don't mean to be rude, Jerry, but are they the ones that gave you that tattoo?
He'll kind of look down at the tattoo and then look back up at you. And he'll nod. It's not unusual for he almost says y'all. It's not unusual for kindred to mark their servitors.
And Maddie just kind of swallows, even though she doesn't create, spit anymore. Like branding cattle. And she just sounds so disgusted and horrified by that connection she just said aloud.
As you say that, and writing off of your previous insight check, you will watch as a couple of different emotions flicker across Jerry's face. For a brief moment, there is defensiveness, and then there is shame. He kind of pulls his sleeve down a little bit. His shoulders curl in.
I'm sorry. I
It's okay. It's okay, Maddie. But it's normal.
Just because something's normal doesn't mean it's okay or make it right.
I'm used to it.
You shouldn't be. And there's just a bit of a raw emotion in her throat, like it's just Maddie remembering again that night where she realized exactly what the Tremere do, and this is kind of like that moment where she's realizing what kindred do. Jerry, can you make me a promise?
Sure.
Please don't let me ever become like that. I know that the risk of it is not quite severe, but it is possible. But
He'll reach out and he'll hold his pinky out to you. I promise I'll protect you.
That's not what I asked, Jerry.
From you.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
He'll give it a squeeze, and then he'll let go. But I don't think you'll need me for that.
I don't know. If Can I be honest with you?
Always.
It's only been a few months, but I already feel a little more monstrous. And it horrifies me when I realize I'm acting that way.
Okay. Well, if it comforts you, your feelings aren't facts.
That is true.
You are human. You're a lot more human than a lot of people I know. You've always been that way. You're a good person, Maddie. And above all else, you are still a person. You're good. You know that, right?
I like to think I'm good, but what I think isn't always actually reality.
Well, as we both know, I only speak facts and logic.
Oh, is that what you were doing the other night when we were arguing about which Doctor Who was the best?
Yes, because I am obviously correct. It is the 10th Doctor. You will not speak such slander in my house. How dare you?
No, 12th. 12th, Peter Capaldi. Come on.
Listen. Just because the Primogen is an old man and you got a soft spot for them doesn't make him the best.
Wow. I do not have a soft spot for old British men. You take that back right now.
No, I don't think I will. Can't.
That is so incorrect and rude and all the things. That's just I can't believe you would say something like that. Like I can't.
He'll just laugh, and then he'll kind of reach over and grab one of the books that is on the cart. It doesn't look like it's actually from this library, but he'll kind of hand it to you. This is that new book that I was telling you about. Well, it's not new, but it's one that you don't have. So when you have time. I mean, if you didn't take a book, I wouldn't think it was actually you. It'd just be someone wearing your skin suit, which would be worse. But considering everything I've been hearing about lately, it wouldn't be out of reach. You get the distinct impression that he's thinking about the dinosaur.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks. I'll probably read it when in a few days when I'm at work at the museum. Thank you.
Okay. And he will nod to you. He'll give you a that warm smile again, and then he will continue to go and put books away.
All right. Is it sunrise yet?
Yes, while you were talking, you got very distracted by your anger at seeing all of that warding and all of that blood sorcery inside of his arm. But you would have felt the sun go down.
Oh yeah, sundown, not sunrise. Wrong one. Yeah, okay. Maddie's gonna scurry on so she's on time because she's never been late to an appointment if she can help it. And she's very curious who on earth Rosire wants her to meet.
Yeah. It's a thing of you were asked to meet them like maybe an hour after sundown to give everyone
Maddie
time to
takes
hunt.
that as like, I have to be there at this exact time.
I imagine that she thinks that whenever she has these kind of appointments, she has to be there exactly 10 minutes early or she's late.
Absolutely, she is that type of person.
So she's able to quickly go and kind of hunt down some of the bags that are in the hospital. She's able to forge some of the paperwork and fudge a little bit of the stock that has been taken there. Because considering the Tremere own the hospital, it's not difficult for her to do. She would it'd be easy for her to find that observation room, but as she's getting there, roll me a wits plus awareness.
Aspects?
Yeah,
Okay. No concealed objects?
no concealed objects.
Okay.
This is a thing of what she's going to be hearing.
Ooh, yes, I love spying. Is 2 enough?
Yes.
Okay.
So as you were approaching the observation room, you would hear a couple of voices inside. One you recognize, one you don't. You know, I don't usually come to these kind of places. Chantries are real weird, Islington. You're muted.
You know you will always be safe in any place I have any power.
Yeah, but still,
It's good to see you, though.
it's good to see you too. I've been mostly holed up for a little while, but So who am I meeting?
You're meeting my child, Maddie. Madam.
You're what now?
Yes, I've expected that reaction. I embraced.
I didn't take you for one to do that.
I wasn't going to. Circumstances were complicated. Truth is, I let my guard down. And she discovered things about me that I probably should not have let her. But by the time she found them out, there was no way for me to remove it without damaging her. So I was faced with a choice. I probably wouldn't have let my guard down quite so easily, but well, she reminds me of family.
There's a pause. And she kind of just levels Islington with a stare. Does she remind you of your granddaughter?
I'm my daughter before her. Yes. I didn't have it in me to kill her. And I know what I did may be worse in some regards. But I couldn't destroy her.
So you you decided to embrace.
At first, I tried to bring her in a way that she could stay mortal. But ghouling someone degrades them. And it became evident that that would be what would happen. And I couldn't stand that either.
But becoming what we are eventually degrades us.
I know. I had a series of bad choices available to me, and it's my fault. And I know full well I have taken more away from her than I would ever want to. She can never have children of her own. She can never have a future where she finds somebody and falls in love and grows old together. I know I took that from her, and I will forever hold myself in contempt for it. But I had a series of choices.
Maddie, you'll kind of hear a shifting of furniture as there seems to the voice tends to the one that you don't know kind of shifts in the room. Islington, you see Ruth kind of move to sit backwards on a chair, kind of hugging around the back of it, one of her fingers ticking nervously on the edge. You decided to kill her to preserve her?
Yes, I can see that being a way of describing it. I just didn't. I didn't want to lose my daughter again.
This kind of thing can only. Her goodness can only last so long. You're not going to be able to preserve her in like this in amber.
No. All I can hope to do is better than my sire did to me. Give her a chance.
Well, no offense, but that bar is like buried and very deep in the ground. You got a shovel or something?
Fair. I do have a question for you. Yes, I'm totally distracting. Does that ring mean what I think it does?
Ruth will kind of glance down at her hand, at the ring on her fourth finger. She'll kind of smile to herself. I don't know what you think it means.
I believe the colloquialism in the States would be made an honest woman of you.
Oh, honest woman, me? Yes, I've been made into a housewife.
Excellent. I imagine there was a U-Haul involved.
There was a U-Haul, there is a ranch house out in the middle of nowhere, and there are canned tomatoes.
Is it the good doctor? I hope it is.
She'll smile again. Yeah.
Well, send her my warm affection.
Once I get back out there, I will. She knows I've got stuff to do out here. After all, had to pry Benny out of the that wine cellar. You know I found her in torpor, right?
I know she's been having troubles and that you've been helping her with it. There's only so much she'll let me see.
Yeah. Grief is consuming.
I know. And I know you're the best person to help her. I love her, but I know there are things I can't do for her.
Yeah. You're a little busy with your own grief, ain't you?
Yes. Be kind to this child of mine.
I mean, what else would I be?
That's fair. She's smart. Lovely. You will see some things you recognize.
Her eyes will narrow a little bit. What kind of things?
Well, she bears a strong resemblance to a couple of people you've known. Her eyes, her hair, her appearance in general.
Should Maddie make her entrance at this point?
And as he finishes that sentence, he will actually go, "Oh, and she's listening in on us." Madeline Clark.
Oh, good. I didn't hear the middle name. She's good for now.
If you would please join us.
Maddie was hoping to slip in all innocent, like, and then she gets freaking called out by her sire. She just kind of walks in bashfully. Yes, Mr. Islington?
I would like you to meet one of my best friends, Ruth Hamilton, Clan Gangrel.
Really nice to meet you. And
It's nice to meet you too. Dang, you're pretty. And Ruth will kind of stand up from where she's seated. She stands about 5 feet even tall, so you're kind of just looking down a little bit at her. She has an undercut that goes all the way around. Right as curly black hair on top of her head. Warm, wide brown eyes. Pair of glasses that sit on her nose. There is like a red knit beanie that sits on top of her head. Wearing a red flannel, slightly ripped jeans, white tank top. There is a band that wraps around her wrist that has a rook carved into it, and she's wearing a pair of black cowboy boots. And there is a ring on her fourth finger. And she'll kind of smile widely, hold out a hand. Pleasure to meet you, Ruth Hamilton.
At Madeline Clark, and she'll shake hands. And poor unfortunate Ruth, she's seen those eyes before. They're literally exact copies of Lady Catherine's, and well, red hair on someone who loves museums and stuff. Maybe reminds her of Adriana. Maybe there's other people as she was referring to that I don't know about that she also resembles. I know not.
Yeah, Ruth is going to give her a good hard stare as she gives her a firm handshake, but nothing too strong. There is that warmth and still in her expression, but there is a look that she kind of gives over to Islington of we're gonna continue having this conversation later. And then she'll look to Maddie again. Well, it's nice to meet you. I was told that, well, outside of being introduced, because I've been in the city for a minute now, because I gotta pry people out from underneath like hedges and from behind wine and underneath blankets, and I'm pretty sure there was an incident with big stuffed animals, but don't worry about that. I was told that you might have like questions about like She kind of looks over to Islington again. Garu.
Oh, yeah. My coterie mate. He's Gangrel too. His sire was attacked by Garu in the recently at a park, and I was hoping to learn more about them to maybe. I know they're too dangerous to fight or anything, but any information at all, knowledge is power. Help him maybe find his sire if she's still alive.
She will kind of resume where she was sitting, kind of sit backwards on it, put her hands on the back of the chair, put her chin on top of her hands. Do you got any information on what kind it was?
Oh, do I actually have the information it was a black spiral dancer, or do I only know that out of character?
I think
Where's
that
the text
Islington
here?
may have told you some of it, but he and the sheriff's department only got vague descriptions from Cal because they were running.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, I don't think I know it's a black coterie. I mean, a black spiral dancer in character. What did Cal say in our group chat? Yeah, just a werewolf. Okay. Maddie shrugs apologetically and awkwardly sits down. I don't have a lot of information. My coterie mate was running for his life. A big, terrifying guru who fought his sire, and now he doesn't know where she is.
Okay. Well, unless they are certain tribes, They don't usually take our sort hostage.
Okay.
But since she's what we are, See, we got this ability to change our forms.
Yeah, Protean.
Uh-huh. But, so she might have gotten away. We're fairly hardy, but they don't usually leave our sort alive. Especially those of us that don't cleave as close to our humanity.
I will point out something that might be of use in knowing what happened to her. Cal, did he feel the bond snap immediately?
I think he would have said so. He just seemed really concerned that he didn't know where his sire was and that he couldn't, protect her and that he was in danger too. I think I would know from his text if that had happened, but it didn't seem like that last time we talked about it.
And she was probably alive for at least a while, or he would have felt that.
They don't normally come into our territory, right? So, I mean,
They don't really know what our territory is. There are some kinds of them that are city folk. Like there are kinds that are glasswalker that I've been told that can literally walk through glass if they're able to, like mirrors. But they're usually more like techie folk. Like they like computers and stuff.
Oh, I wasn't meaning they know where our territory was. Just they generally would avoid where a bunch of us are smelling, right?
Sometimes they back in Florida, I was an emissary to a pack of them. We managed to make a peace. It was tenuous because they were outcasts themselves. But there were a lot of conditions. But normally, from what I learned, they don't. We are what they fight against. We are what they call the. She kind of looks up. What was that word? What were them words that Becky said? Oh, W ones. We are the worm. We are tainted.
So there's little hope.
I'm not saying she's not alive, but I am saying that to not hold hope for that.
Okay. I was hoping to bring him some better news, but thank you.
I'm
It's good to
sorry.
know. It's okay. I was just trying to help my friend.
I'm sure you're going to be real helpful. And then I never met a Tremere that wasn't helpful. Well, maybe one or two. You ever heard of Moonblock?
Oh, not that again.
Back in Florida. Yes, it was a joke among us schools about it.
But yes, Maddie, we'll do what we can to help. If she's alive, I'm sure between the resources of all the people in the city, we'll find her.
But they're weak toward silver. They tend to have to move around, so they can't really develop the same kinds of influences that we can. I know the court, we kind of developed some safety measures just in case, because it's not, you can squeeze them out of an area, but she grimaces. It ain't too humane.
At the end of the day, they're people. They may be on opposite sides of a conflict, but we don't have to be, and we don't need to be cruel.
Of course.
So, she kind of squints at you. You look an awful lot like, Catherine. Her gaze will cut to Islington. Except Ginger.
Yes. I had noticed. I also informed Catherine before she could find out by other means. But yes, she does look like Catherine around the eyes. Perhaps some aspect of lineage going back through the centuries.
I mean, is she an old kindred? I mean, in that case, maybe. I don't know.
She's an old Ventru.
She looks to Islington because he did not tell her that?
Yes, an old friend of mine. She had quite a lot of influence over several kindred that you have met and will meet.
And she just stares at him silently, asking the prince. She doesn't dare say it aloud, but she's just like, I'm on to you, old man.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be careful. Old Kendra got enemies, and they usually go for young folk first before they go for anyone that has any real power.
Well, I can't really help how my eyes look. Maybe contact.
I know. It's not just your eyes. It's the shape of them. It's your nose. Kind of inherited like part of her face. But that's kind of just a generational thing. But I'm just saying so that you're aware of what you're going to be going into here. Because from what I heard, Catherine was here, right?
She was.
And she had a heavy presence, right? Because she tends to. She's very good at taking control and running things. Smart
She
lady.
Advanced in the Ventru, I've heard. The thing you should understand, Maddie, is that both Ruth and I were under the impression that Catherine was dead for a while until she popped up here.
Oh. Is it often for? Is that a common thing for kindred to let others presume they're dead?
I don't know.
As you age, obviously, to a certain extent, you have to. You need to let the people who knew you in life think you have passed on. Otherwise, there are questions. In 30 years, people will wonder why Madeline Clark seems like she's in her early 20s.
Yeah, my eyes seem to startle the prince in my introduction, and there was mention about keeping me away from an emissary of some kind.
Yes. Um, well, I suppose I can say this here, and this is not to leave this room.
I won't. I promise.
I, she was married in life. Her husband was embraced of a different clan.
Oofda.
Adventura pretty about clan stuff, right?
She didn't even know. She found him here. She thought he had died.
This sounds like a romance novel.
From what I understand about Ventru, they get possessive over family lines.
Indeed. I believe that is actually relevant, I think. I don't know why such manipulations were applied to her and her family and her line, but it seems clear that there was some sort of greater purpose at work. But yes, Catherine is who resemble, and her husband is the emissary from Sanctuary, a Nosferatu. I will need to introduce you at some point. I don't want him to discover things by accident.
Ruth will kind of lean in. A what? What's a sanctuary? I mean, like, I know the word. Is it like a church?
No. Near as I can tell, it's a collection of folks who might have.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Shush, shush.
Yes.
There's kind of this brief, like, flicker of recognition. Like, she kind of. Islington would be able to easily assume that she kind of learned what that might have been while she was trying to coax Benny out back into the open.
Yeah.
Catherine's the one in the photo in the sun, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember her telling me about that. She seemed like she had a good time.
She visited Scotland. And
she visited a creepy old man.
Yes. Well, through means that should be unsavory, let's say, she was granted a day's reprieve from her undead state.
Maddie's just like in shock for a moment to hear that like it can be temporarily reversed.
I should warn you, the person who can do this does it as a form of manipulation. It's like a drug. He gets you addicted, and you'll do anything he wants.
I mean, I wasn't about to just go run to Scotland, sir.
I know.
Yeah, that's the thing about older kindred. You could Islington. You could see that there was another word that was on her mouth for a moment, but she switched from the hard C to a K. They'll use anything to manipulate you, especially when you're young and vulnerable. and looking for some kind of answers. It's almost like a cult personality.
The world you've entered is far more dangerous and strange than you have yet to realize.
I could see how some kindred could go on a power trip thinking they're, well, godlike. Live that long, lose your memory. Can do crazy things other people can't do. Okay. So it's like before, just be aware I'm naive because I'm a fledgling, and be careful because other people are out there who want to hurt me. Be extra careful because for some reason I look like this woman I've never met. I don't even know if I'm actually related to her, but everyone, it's like a ghost or something. And just, be cautious in general because the night is dangerous.
Yes, and obviously, as I said, don't speak about what we were just talking about to anyone outside
Yeah,
this.
and don't do what your sire does, which is run off and go and do stuff, and then tell people about it when you're done, even because you don't want to worry folk, so that you can be able to get it, because you're too curious and you just want to get things done.
That was a unique circumstance.
That was certainly many unique circumstances that managed to line up perfectly, weren't it?
I will point out, unlike many fledglings, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. A lot of people that die think they know what they're doing.
I know. But, well, there were many people in that city that we couldn't trust. And the ones I could were already bearing more burdens than they should.
So, like I said, don't be dumb like him.
I will be careful.
Oh, I'm sure you won't, but I have to tell you just for the sake of it.
To be fair, she is correct. Don't do as I did. Do as I say. Be careful, calm, and considerate in everything you do.
I'm trying.
And once you're caught, get sneakier about it.
Yes, I've worked on the sneaky part.
I'm perfectly aware.
I think it'll be a little hard to sneak away with anything when my sire is both my primogen and regent. I'm sure Mr. Islington's circumstances were a little different, being more experienced kindred at a different chantry.
Sure.
Also, I've met your coterie. You're surrounded by less idiots than I was encountering.
They're fairly intelligent, yes.
Yes, quite capable. I still need to meet the other two. Quite fond of Miss Polini. She seems quite capable. Well, Ruth, I think you would like her. Very straightforward.
Oh, you're part of a coterie?
Mm-hmm. I'm with two Ventru who are very combat inclined, and as I mentioned, a Ganquil.
What do y'all do?
What we're assigned to do by
They poke at things.
Oh.
Yeah, we investigate stuff, and then we usually find stuff that's too big for us, like a white and a flesh-crafted dinosaur, and we hand it off to other more experienced kindred to deal with instead. But we did kill the white. We killed the white.
Okay, good job. Of a flesh-crafted dinosaur?
Yeah, I knew that would catch your attention.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Islington.
No, you're quite right. Ruth is just having a normal, natural reaction to the collection of words that you just strung together.
You can kind of see her just like trying to visualize it, like staring at like the wall, like she's trying to measure out what a flesh crafted dinosaur would look like.
It was a
There-
T-Rex.
You see that confusion very deepen.
That would make it about 3 stories tall. And
Okay, I can't think about it anymore. That's making my head hurt.
3
Yeah.
tons?
We keep encountering weird things, and then the white was a circumstance where it was life or death, but otherwise we try to hand it on to the other coteries in the city because it's too much for us. I can barely fight.
Wow.
I don't know. Your sire can barely fight, but he's pretty good with a dagger.
I have had times in which I needed to explore that, yes.
Yeah, I want to get better at that too, and I've been practicing shooting with Benny, and Mr. Islington taught me some blood sorcery stuff to help defend myself. So, getting there slowly.
All right.
I'm
Cool.
very proud of what you've been doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look like you got your head put right on your shoulders. But
He's a very good mentor.
I have no doubt. There's kind of a look up and down of Maddie.
She shrinks back a little. She does not like how much people have been staring at her since she got to the city.
It seems more of a concerned look. How old are you?
Human years or embrace?
Embrace.
Just a few months. I was ghouled longer.
How are you handling it?
All right. It is certainly an adjustment. I can't feel what Mr. Islington's feeling anymore. The blood bond has changed since the embrace, and well, now I have the beast. I'm handling it okay.
How are you managing with the beast?
It frightens me.
That's
I don't like. I don't like when it praises what I do.
It's understandable. There comes a point along the path I have been walking where you begin to understand that when you stop fearing it, start accepting it without letting it have control, you have more control over it.
And there is. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
There is something to say about making compromises with your beast. Sometimes it doesn't need to be adversarial. Because I know, because you're real young, that you view this new thing that's in you as outside of what you are. But it's part of you now. It's not separate, it's you. And you gotta find a way to move with it. And I'm not saying you gotta give in to every bestial urge. Nah. Some things can't be compromised. But fighting against it every night, it's gonna kill you.
I understand that. logically, it's coming to terms with it emotionally. And she glances up to Islington, kind of like a "Dad, help!" kind of look, like when a puppy is like can't get out of water, because it goes back to thinking about all the horrors they found in the Tremere Chantry. I just don't want to become like the Tremere that were here.
And I don't want you to.
Then don't.
Yes.
You got a choice.
I will always be here to help you through this process of learning how to deal with it.
I know.
I will always try to counsel you, give you the right words to understand what you're going through. A portion of it is going to be on you. There's only so much I can do. But if you want, I can teach you some techniques. I have walked a path that grants me a certain amount of more control than most.
Thank you.
Don't need to thank me, Maddie. You're important to me.
Well, I'm going to thank you regardless. My mother taught me manners, sir.
Very good.
And with that, we will zoom out from Maddie. And we will zoom in on Louisa Songbird Bolene. Louisa, you rouse an hour before sundown. And you feel your hunger deepen as you wake.
Mhm.
What does Songbird do during her morning routine? Because I imagine she has something that she does when she wakes up that first hour before she can go out and do anything.
Yeah, she'll wake up, probably work on like writing a song or something, because she's been doing more singing when she's not shooting things and getting hurt. And then would probably go, like, after like working on that for a little bit, go and like put on her face and like get all ready for the day, check her messages to see like if anyone's messaged during the day.
Mm-hmm. Say, does Louisa have apps on her phone?
Yes.
Does she have Facebook?
She would, to keep up the masquerade with her family.
Okay. You have a message on Facebook Messenger.
Oh, okay. She'll go and look at it.
It is from your Zio.
Zio Dante.
He is asking if you are still that he is, because I imagine that y'all have put some time aside to go and see each other. He's asking if you're still okay with that.
Yeah, she'd tell him that she's okay with that and would send him the address to not the fancier jazz lounge, but the one that she sings at occasionally, the less fancy one. The one where she met Reggie at.
Neat. He would he would definitely meet you. He would send you back a thumbs up emoji.
Did he hold it down where the thumb got super big? Because I know it does that on Facebook.
Yes.
Or did he just click it?
No, there's a very large thumb in your.
Okay.
Yeah, he's messaging you through Facebook Messenger because he doesn't know if your phone number has changed, but he knows you still have Facebook.
That is fair.
But yeah, you are going to Chris's Jazz Cafe.
Yee. She would probably actually ask one of her sires to drive her, one, so she could put the bigger guns in the car for if she needs them later, and two, because it's hard to move, and buses are probably going to be more difficult.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, yeah, she probably would have asked once like the sun was down and it was safe to go out if Gavin or Rosemary would drive her, so she could put the
Mhm.
big guns in the trunk, so if she needs them after meeting with her uncle, she still has access to them. Because buses are going to be difficult with her moving around right now.
That's true. I imagine that one or the other one, well, either one of them will happily
Mhm.
drive you. Probably Gavin, because he's usually the one that drives around, or you or him are usually the ones that drive
Mhm.
around. Rosemary very much hits the stride in passenger princess.
Mhm.
But as you get your guns loaded in the trunk, he drives you out to the cafe. You will get there fairly quickly because your sire likes to speed, but he knows how to do so by evading police. And as he is driving you, go ahead and give me a wits and awareness.
Oh, that is not a good pool.
I'm gonna keep making you roll it till you raise it.
I raised it by
I
one.
know, but more.
Three.
Nice. You notice that the police presence has increased considerably. Even though Gavin doesn't get pulled over, it's still fairly heavy in the area. But as you keep driving, you will, as he drives you there, he will drop you off. He'll tell you he's going to go find some place to park, that he'll be nearby.
Mhm.
And you will head into Chris's Jazz Lounge.
Mhm.
And I'm going to keep that wits and awareness roll for the rest of the session. Wait
Okay.
for the rest of the scene. But as you look around, it is decently busy. It's still got that very homey feel that it had when you first got there in the other visits. It's very much a speakeasy kind of bar. You can kind of smell the oil from the fried southern food and the various alcohol that they serve. It's a nice, quaint place, and you're enjoying it a lot more.
Mhm.
You would go in, and you would see that the colors are vibrant. There are various like little in the window. There are little LGBTQ flags that are kind of just in there, right next to the big mural of three men. One of them is playing a cello, the other one's playing a saxophone, and the other one looks like he's singing. With an overhang that says Chris's Jazz Cafe with a couple of outdoor seating. As you head in, you will hear that there is live music on stage. And I imagine she just starts bopping
Mm-hmm.
to whatever's
She'll bop
playing.
around. If it's not an original song, she'll probably hum along to it.
Mm-hmm. But as you look around, you would see an older, burly-looking handlebar mustache, small glasses on the tip of his nose. There seems to be like a little book that he has, but like between his fingers that he's been reading. There's like a waistcoat that he wears that is really trying the buttons.
Oh, Zio.
Mhm. His shoes are very shiny, and he'll look up to you, and there is this like this almost like gruff but very warm smile as he sees you. You can kind of see a smile twitch up from underneath the mustache. There are quite a few grays in his hair since you last saw him. It seems like whatever happened in Chicago certainly had an impact.
And as soon as she sees him, she'll hobble over with her cane to go greet him. And normally she would try to go like tackle hug him, but that's a little hard to do at the moment. So she'll go over and she'll go give him a big hug.
Did you warn him about your leg injury?
No.
Okay, he instantly registers your cane and your hobble, and there was this instant flash of who did it, who am I killing, and worry. He will get up and he kind of like catches you in his arms and gives you like a tight hug, but it's like very careful because you seem delicate right now.
Ciao, Zio Dante. I'm okay. It was self-inflicted. I was just clumsy.
What did you do?
I wasn't looking where I was stepping, and next thing I know, there's a sharp pain in my leg. And
What, did the floor stab you?
not the floor, but like something on the floor.
He gives you like a look over, like he's holding you at arm's length, like he's giving you that grandfatherly look over. It's almost the look over you get every time you go see your mom. It's like, have you eaten enough? And it's just like he's assessing your injury. Give me a manipulation plus persuasion, please.
Okay. That's not the worst.
You're going to have to spend a willpower on that.
Yeah, I'll spend a willpower. It didn't help.
I noticed. Okay, there is this utterly skeptical look that he gives you. And he kind of it gives you another look over. You know, your ma told me that you're seeing some. At least you were seeing some. The words that she used were quite colorful, and I would rather not repeat them in polite company. But
I would imagine they were colorful. It's mama.
So did he do that?
No. It's complicated with him. He's still back home. I haven't seen him since I've been down here.
There is just like this narrowed-eyed scrutiny.
I promise this wasn't him or anyone. I was just genuinely not paying attention to my surroundings.
And you tell me if someone hurt you.
Of course.
Good. Because there's no one gets to hurt my little Louisa.
Of course, Theo.
So tell me how you have been down here. He will start to sit back down.
She'll sit down with him and do like in a way where she can kind of like keep her leg kind of stretched out. I've been good. I've been reconnecting with friends that I didn't know moved here before I did. I made a couple new friends. I come and sing at this lounge actually a few nights a week.
You know, Nipote, I didn't really expect you to actually want to move down to Philly. What made you want to come down here?
Change of scenery. Heard that Philly was a riot. I mean, you see how they are when sports teams like win and stuff.
You see him give a very tired sigh.
But yeah, just a change of scenery. Mama told me that you transferred down here though. I thought you were happy in Chicago.
The things in Chicago have gotten very, very stressful. I know Philly is also stressful, but it is a different kind of stressful.
Yeah, they're more of a danger to themselves, I have learned, than to others.
There is this quiet nod in agreement, and he will lift the coffee that he has in his cup to his mouth and just sip it. Because it is a jazz cafe, and you can get coffee at night.
Yeah, she'll get a glass of wine.
Okay. Easy enough done. The waitress comes by and takes your order. She checks on you, sees if you want anything to eat.
She's just not going to get anything tonight, but she'll just get the wine.
Yeah, so there were quite a few openings in the Philadelphia PD. So it wasn't difficult for me to make the switch.
Why do I feel you're doing this just to be an extra set of eyes on me?
I mean, it's a bonus.
That's fair.
We're family, Louisa.
I know.
You act like you wouldn't do this to me if I had just moved somewhere else.
Oh, within a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. You would just show up at the cafe that I go to every morning just to check in because you absolutely love black coffee.
No, I don't. Black coffee is gross. I don't get how you drink it.
Or maybe you just need to develop some taste.
I have taste. Look at this place.
Yes. I will say that this place is very nice. It's very you.
I'm actually started making some connections to hopefully open up my own.
His brows were raised a little. Really?
Yeah. Talking to someone, maybe I'll get a loan to purchase a warehouse, redo it up, make it a nice establishment, bring in enough money to move Ma and the rest down.
Your mother wants to move down to Philadelphia?
Oh, I haven't asked her yet, but I figured she'd want to be close with everyone, and she's only been in Chicago since we moved here.
He'll hum, and he'll nod, and he'll take another sip of his coffee. When you get that location, give me the address. I'd like to get a look at it before you set down any roots.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go with the first location I found. I was going to scope them out, make sure they're okay. But I'll let you know, Zio.
Yeah, you'll let me scope them out.
Yes, I'll let you scope them out. And she'll sip her wine.
He'll give like a gruff little nod and huff, and then take another sip of his coffee. So tell me, Nipote, What are you? You're looking to open a club. You moved down here to get a change of scenery. You didn't say that you broke up with that man.
I said it was complicated.
How complicated?
It's complicated. And she'll start to fidget with not her necklace, but the pearl ring she always wears that he gave her. It's not on like an important finger. It's just on like her index.
He kind of glances down to your fidgeting. And he'll reach out and he'll gently put one of his large calloused hands over yours. Give it a squeeze. You know your mother has some connections up in Chicago if he's still there. And we need to do something about him.
He also has connections, though, Zio.
Okay.
And hearing that her mother has connections, she's now confused because she's like, what kind of connections does mom have?
There is nothing in his expression that gives away what kind of connections those are. I also have connections.
I know you
Lisa.
do, Zio. But I am safer here. I promise. And if you met my roommates, I'm sure they would also... They would give...
Roommates.
Yeah.
Who are they?
If they have mask names, Louisa would give the mask names. Because Katie
You
doesn't
can-
know them.
You can see him like mentally taking note of each of the mask names that you give him and locking that information away for later.
They were very insistent I didn't take the bus to meet you today because of how hurt I am.
Yes. From stepping on attack.
I didn't say it was attack.
You didn't say what it was either.
Truthfully, I didn't even see what it was. It was dark that night.
There's just a skeptical look that he gives you, but it's very, very, very much falls into the you don't have to don't lie to me, but I know that you don't have to tell me, but you should not lie to me.
I'm not lying. I was out with a friend, and then next thing I know, I took a step and felt something sharp in my leg. And then when I went to go get it checked out, it was worse than I thought. I was just going to bandage it up and walk it off. And it got taken care of.
Give me another manipulation plus persuasion. If you'd like
Dang
to
it.
blood surge, you're more than welcome.
I am going to blood search for this one.
Okay.
Three. Hunger 1. Blood surge. 3.
Okay. So that seems to reassure him a little more. He seems to relax off of that. All right. Where'd you get that cane from?
A friend got it for me. She thought I would like it, and she'll show him the purple and pink leopard print cape.
I mean, it doesn't suit what you usually wear, but it is you.
It's different.
Different, just like my nipote.
Yeah.
He'll take another sip of his coffee. So what do you end up like doing around here? I haven't actually done much city exploring outside of work.
Well, if I'm not singing here, I've gone to the museum a couple of times with a few of my friends. I've surrounded myself with smarter people.
You're a good old man at Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, I guess. Should I dye my hair blonde then and start wearing red lipstick?
There's this look of distaste for a moment, but he'll kind of force it down. Just like the old-fashioned Italian, just instant pinch, but kind of forced to push down. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
I was kidding, Zio.
Good.
I
You make
like
it
my
terrible
natural hair.
blonde.
Rude. Now I'm going to go color my hair blonde as soon as I leave.
I don't believe you.
You're right. I like my hair too much.
So you've been going to the museum, you surrounded yourself with smart people.
Yeah. I really
Makes
haven't
sense.
gotten to explore too much past the cafes, the jazz lounges,
Hmm.
museums.
Alright. I mean, you haven't been here for too long, so. But, makes sense you'd surround yourself with smart people. You're pretty smart yourself.
I mean, if you say so. If dropping out of high
Louisa.
school is a smart choice.
Louisa. There's more than one kind of smart. We both know that.
Yes, Zio.
Just because you're not the same kind of smart that book learning people go by. Just means they got narrow views and they're not as smart as they look.
Yeah. But it also kind of is discouraging when people are talking about books like the Odyssey, and I'm just kind of sitting there blank stare, not knowing a lick of what they're talking about.
Book's too long. Just watch the movie.
There's a movie?
There are several movies.
I mean, I've just been listening to, I guess, like this guy on TikTok started making songs about the series.
I mean, that's one way of learning it too. Another sip. He does not know what you're talking about, like, at all.
She'll
But he,
pull open TikTok to one of his videos and show him across the table.
he'll squint at it for a minute. There is a moment where it seems like he is trying to watch and trying to listen, but he kind of just shakes his head at it and takes another sip of his coffee.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. But
I am never going to understand that kind of stuff.
it's short form entertainment. It keeps people engaged.
Yeah, I'm aware that the generation these days has a very short attention span.
Yeah, I can only imagine how the little fratelinos are glued to it at home.
Yes, when they aren't terrorizing each other.
Well, that sounds like them.
Because that can entertain them for so long, but then they discover paint.
Oh, I'm sure Mama does not like that.
There is, I got memories of you when you were little, and when you discovered that you could run around and take off your pull-up.
She'll look around, like, pretending to be embarrassed. Like, we're not going to talk about that in public. I'm known here. I don't need the regulars knowing about that. And she'll laugh.
He'll let out a little chuckle. And look at you now, all grown up.
All grown up and still making you worry.
I mean, you're always gonna make me worry. You're my nipote. You moved to a big, scary city all on your own. With roommates that I don't know, who I'm going to meet.
They'll be on their best behavior.
Oh, I have no doubt that they will. I have that effect on people.
Yeah, one's just kind of like a surfer, and the other one's very pretty.
You gave me 3 names.
I gave
Oh,
you.
so you. Oh, that's right. You gave him the names of your sires.
Yes,
Okay.
those roommates.
Okay. He will nod. A surfer and a pretty person. Got it.
Yeah, he's also he's very laid back, and she's very protective. Very protective.
So is that why? Is he the one that was driving that really nice car that I saw pull up that you came out of?
Yes, that was him.
Ah. Got it.
He wanted to make sure that I was okay, and if anything went astray, I had someone here. I told him I was seeing my Zio, and that my Zio is a very strong and scary man.
Yes, I'm sure you put the fear of God into him. He kind of looks you up and down. All like 4 foot something of you.
I am 5 foot, thank you.
How much do the heels add?
About 3 inches.
Uh-huh.
Question, ST.
Mhm.
Has he noticed the gun at all on her person or not yet?
He has noticed the gun,
Okay.
but you always carry a gun. And he is not worried about you carrying a gun.
That is fair. I just was like, I don't know if he saw the titty gun yet or not. We're not gonna question it. In character, at least. Out of character, Katie was curious. But yeah, they're good people. They take care of me. They're almost as overbearing as Mama. Very protective. Were they doing okay before you left? I've spoken to Mama a couple of times and had to scold the younger ones because they were trying to taste the sauce before it was done.
Oh yeah, they seem to be doing fine. You'll see him kind of pause and pull out what looks like he'll grab the napkin off the table and he will start coughing into it. You'll see his sleeve kind of roll up and go ahead and give me another wits and awareness.
We're not going to blood surge for this one. But we're going to burn a willpower. 3.
Okay. So he coughs, and it sounds very nasally. It sounds sinusy. It's like very much allergy phlegm. But you kind of glance down to the arm that he is holding the napkin by, and his sleeve rolls up a little bit. He is always dressed fairly conservatively. It's always almost completely being covered. He's got his own personal preferences. And he's very, very Catholic in the way of how he dresses. But you see a tattoo. It's weathered. It seems like he has had it for a very long time. You have vague memories of seeing it when you were younger. But it is of that
The scale.
The scale with the sword going through it through a book.
She'll stare at it for a moment. Zio, I don't think you ever told me what your tattoo means.
He'll kind of glance at it for a moment. Oh, it's I got it when I started the force. Way back when I was a rookie cop.
That's all it means?
Do you want to insight him?
I do want to insight him.
Go ahead and give me a wits plus insight.
This is not a good pool for Elmo. May I blood surge?
If you'd like.
We're gonna risk it for the biscuit. Ooh, okay. 5.
Nice. And you're still at hunger 1. That's nice.
Oh wait, I keep forgetting to add a die because of the high functioning. Whoops. Oh well. 5. We'll stick with 5.
His answer seems honest. There is something that he's not telling you about it, but it could be something that he deems as private. It's not an outright lie, but it is not telling the entire truth.
Okay. She'll put that in the back of her head.
He will kind of give one more cough and kind of sniff. The air quality here is terrible.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to.
Haven't had this kind of problem with pollen since I lived in Georgia.
Yeah, I would imagine the pollen is not so fun there.
It's not. But here it's different.
Do you want to go get some fresh air? We can walk around a bit. I was told walking around will help with the leg. I'll settle the tab here. Let the owner know that I might not be in for another week.
Okay. Yeah, let's go take a walk.
Okay. And she'll get up, go handle the tab, and I assume Chris is still the owner. I don't know if Chris is just like a grandfather's name, how long this place has been here, but she'll go let him know, like, hey, you could see it's a little difficult to get around.
Mhm.
I'll be back in about a week to start like actually performing again.
He will give you like a nod, and he will say that they're looking forward to your next performance.
And then she'll go over to Zio and she'll offer him an arm and be very like, come on, old man.
He will take your arm, and then he will probably put all of his weight on your arm.
Zio.
He kind of just lets out a chuckle and then starts to get up himself and offers you his arm.
She'll take it.
And with that, y'all will walk out and go for a walk. You'll notice that his breathing doesn't really ease. It's easier for him to mask, but there is some kind of pain. But with that, we're going to zoom out on Louisa. We will come back with the rest of Coterie after this break. And welcome back to this session of Philly by Night. And as the coterie reconvenes, it is early morning, past midnight of the day that y'all are meeting of, because I'm not going to go look for the date right now. I will get y'all a date later, I promise. But y'all are reconvening at a new address, of a place that none of y'all have been before. But as you get there, you will see your shadow kind of waiting outside. And would our dear librarian like to tell us where the coterie is?
Yes. So, you are at the main branch of the Philadelphia Free Public Library. But more specifically, you are not in the above ground areas. You would have been led down into the basement area through a few back hallways that through a few back hallways and into a room marked special collections. What appears for all intents and purposes on the outside to be nothing more than like another office is actually a large, almost improbably large room filled with shelf after shelf of books of all sorts, but they mostly look as though they are hand-bound leather books. They don't really bear any titles or anything like that on them. They almost look like journals.
Okay. So Natasha would have greeted all of you with a warm smile as y'all convened on the place and led you back in to this almost like an underground library. Before meeting with the librarian himself, she would turn to look at all of you. All right. So we are going to go into a room where this library is very special. It is records of elders and their lives.
Oh, we're at the Nielsen Library?
Yes, indeed we are. I know that all of you have some individual research that you would like to do, perhaps looking into your individual clans' histories, your lineages. And it is a font of information that you are able to draw on. However, being what we are, nothing is free. So, what I am asking for your coterie to offer in exchange for continuous use of this library is a major boon to the librarian as a coterie. This will cover any visitation that any of you may, as a group or individually, need. Being what your coterie is, this knowledge is invaluable. I will understand if you do not want to do that. We can pay for just this one visit. But I think having overall access will be more of a boon than a detriment.
There's logic in that. A major boon would Sounds about right, yeah. And Maddie just awkwardly looks at the rest of the coterie.
Songbird just kind of like gives Percy a glance and is thinking about how this is going to affect their dignitas.
I think Percy is doing her best to not look excited.
Nerd.
Closet nerd.
And then, like, after thinking about it for a little bit, Songbird will just nod in agreement.
And Cal. Is Cal masking?
Nope. He doesn't have energy to mask.
Okay. So, would you say that there is a confused kind of grief on his face?
Yes. 100%. Just major heartbreak, and he's so unfocused in the moment.
Since he's not masking it, what would I instead have to roll to point to connect the dots that he just lost the blood bond to his sire, and his sire's presumably dead?
Give me an intelligence plus investigation.
I can do that.
No heightened senses.
That's fine. I still have a pool of 7.
This is more about deduction.
Is 2 enough?
No, but I'm not going to make you roll a willpower on that. This isn't something necessary for her to know. Cal is another young kindred like yourself. But the thing about Cal is that he is even more human than you are. He's more human than most humans are. He's going to feel things more potently. Grief being one of them.
Maddie's gonna just kind of awkwardly like sidle over him. She's not gonna say anything, but just kind of like give him a concerned look and just try to be there for her friend. But like, she's awkward.
Okay.
I guess as Maddie is saddling over to Cal, Songbird will take this opportunity to like hobble over to Percy and just check on her and her arm and how she's doing.
Percy, do you want to show Louisa your arm?
Yeah, once he realizes that's what she's worried about, so kind of pull up her sleeve and sew her. I'm pretty sure she healed both
Okay.
ag damages.
I have not yet.
Yeah, she'll definitely kind of look at the cane.
And the bandage on the leg. She's not hiding it with that skirt.
And you know, because it's purely because of that, and Percy is kind of has kind of connected with her feelings a little bit, so kind of reluctantly offer an arm to like support her, like. You don't have to.
It's
you
okay.
don't have to worry about my arm.
I mean,
Not when your leg is like that.
I'm going to worry about a coterie mate if they're hurt.
I'm not the one who's hurt currently.
Oh, this is just a flesh wound. She does not realize she made a movie reference, by the way.
And Percy is not going to mention it because he cannot let anyone know that.
But
You-
Natasha got me a cane and a dinosaur plush. And she'll pull the purple Triceratops plush a little bit out of her bag.
And as you are showing off that plush, the librarian will come out to meet this new coterie that he has been told about and has met a couple of your members. Greet his guests.
Owen steps out from the stacks in this mint green suit, looking very polished, very put together, but still very jittery, as if the man just got done drinking an entire pot of coffee. He glances around. Ooh, Triceratops. I'm a brachiosaur man myself, but good dinosaur.
Those are the long neck ones, right?
Yes. Long neck, flat head.
Right. And she'll hold the plush out a little bit more. Miss King got it for me after the night where we technically met, Mr. Everly, but we didn't really get to talk much.
Yeah, I am sorry about blowing up your dinosaur.
Oh, is that what happened?
I mean, we did try to shoot it, and they weren't really doing much damage. But Percy did really great with her sword. That seemed to be doing some damage on it.
It's okay. It's just full T-Rex skeletons are ripped, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not your guys' fault.
To
You guys
be
didn't
fair,
make it weird.
I did want to bring it back if we could. I didn't think we were gonna have to blow it up.
Well,
It also took an arm and a half.
well, not everything's recoverable, unfortunately.
It's the cost of doing business, unfortunately. But welcome to my library. Introductions. I'm Rowan. And you are Louisa, Percy, Madeline, and Calvin.
Natasha is kind of standing behind the fledglings. She gives Rowan an encouraging nod. And we are willing to give you a major boon for continuous use of your library and your assistance with any research projects.
I'm assuming a major coterie boon.
Yes.
Gratefully accepted.
She'll smile.
But, what can I what can I help you folks find tonight?
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Mr. Everly. Seafer spoke very highly of you, and she said that there were some ley line maps possibly here. I'm going on the magical seneschal mission, so I'm trying to do research on that mainly.
The web. Yes, I've actually been looking into that recently, and he scuttles off towards what looks to be the circulation desk at the center of this maze, and comes back with what looks like bundles, scrolled up old maps of Philadelphia. And he unfurls one, and you can see that the city is just crisscrossed in this dense web of lines that just shoot off in every direction.
Oh my goodness. You speak in my language. And she will happily take the bundle and then go shuffle off somewhere to start studying these things. I'm assuming there's like tables.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Natasha's gonna kind of maneuver Cal to a table, and she's going to sit with him at it. There are a couple of different little books about some gangrel history in them if he chooses to start looking through them. But she can kind of recognize the look on his face, so she's not going to push him on it. But I will let y'all, if you want to do any research, let me know. We'll do the rolls, but I'll let you all socialize with your new friend.
New friends.
Clarification more for Songbird because she always has the pews. Would they have been left at the door? Or would she be allowed to carry them? She wants to be respectful.
You would not have been searched. There is no sign that says no weapons. Like,
All right, so she'll probably like hobble over to a table, open her purse. She'll at least unload all the weapons and then put them all back in and then just hobble around attempting to look for something that she might be able to read.
yeah, Rowan's here to help you find anything that you might be looking for.
So, is there anything in particular that y'all looking to research? I mean, there's a massive list of things that y'all have discovered and looked at and poked at.
I'm literally just waiting for Ink to say that they're gonna go look at lineages. That's all I'm waiting for.
I feel we're
I'm
all
not-
waiting.
What? I feel called out. I feel
Are we
called.
wrong though?
That may have been where my mind was starting to go.
Then go ask Rowan.
I was formulating how to word the request. And also, yeah, okay. All right. Percy will probably look at the amount of books and shuffle over to Rowan and what exactly? At least to start with, probably look at, because my brain cannot think of anything else. But let's start with, see if there's anything on Ventru lineages, specifically a certain spear cult.
There is this almost instant impish grin on Rowan's face. And he very quickly leads you over to a large stand of books and gestures. These are all the records that we have in the city for every prominent Ventru that has occupied the city for more than a couple of weeks.
Okay, Percy,
Yes.
go ahead and give me an intelligence plus academics. If you have a research specialty, you can use that. If you have a kindred lineage specialty, or a kindred lineage specialty, you can use that.
I think I just have knowledge hungry.
Academics always comes with a specialty.
Oh, did I pick academic? Oh, I have law. Never mind. Knowledge, intelligence 4 plus academics 2. 6.
And don't forget your teamwork bonus from Rowan.
Oh yes, 7. Hunger 2. Oh, 5 successes.
Very nice. So, in Rowan's branch of the Carmelita Nielsen, how much would How much would Percy be able to find about the lineage and the history of Artemis Orthea?
There would be a fair amount on Artemis Orthea, mostly, second, third hand accounts of various battles, things of that nature. The specific cult stuff, less so, but notable deeds, notable offspring, things of that nature. She would be able to find mention of at least her sire's broodmates, even if it's just in passing.
There would be a note in there that Rowan would see of a woman that had passed through, not in recent history, but maybe like a decade ago. And it seems that she doesn't fall under the exact bloodline of Artemis Orthea, but she was addressed as Parthenos. There is no detail on it. I hear the goblin whispering, "My precious."
Ventrilidian, give me.
Me making notes.
Knowledge, information.
Listen, it just makes me happy that I'm not the only one when I make notes that talks out loud.
It's especially when it's a word that is slightly complicated to spell.
Oh, we don't talk
I'll put
about
it in your
complicated
channel.
words.
I think Percy will start to get sucked into the research and then kind of remember herself and look up and say thank you.
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure.
Who wants to go next?
I mean, I have the pile of ley line stuff in front of me. I would like to learn about the ley lines, please.
Okay. Are you analyzing the maps, or are you looking for more book information on them?
Well, we already know exactly where we're going for that thing. So I guess more looking about the history, because the notice said that the expected magical output was not what was happening. So maybe just read up on the history of the recordings of different magical influxes at different ley lines in the city nearby it and stuff. I don't know.
Okay. So you're going to be... I'm going to require 2 rolls for this.
Okay.
Because it's going to... First part of the roll is that you're going to find the points of where the ley lines cross to find those magical points. And then you can do research into the areas of that history in those places where they should have that theoretical magical pulse.
Okay.
So let me look at your sheet to see what I'm gonna make you roll. Load. Okay. First one is going to be a resolve plus investigation.
Okay. 6, 10, 1. I got 5 successes.
Very nice. And there are that it certainly meets the difficulty. You're able to locate some of the what would be called furcuses.
Mhm.
And go ahead and give me an intelligence plus academics. If you have a research special, you can use it. Archaeology, unfortunately, will not work here. But you can have a teamwork specialty from our lovely Rowan.
Yay!
I'm a helper.
Yes, you are. 3. Is that enough, or do I need to spend will?
I will leave that to the Rowan. Because this is more about looking into the history of the places where the Ferguses are than the finding of them.
With the information available and the maps available, 3 should be enough. There are, just by looking at the map, there are several places where these lines intersect. One of them is City Hall. Another is the Philadelphia Art Museum, and it's not just like 2 lines intersecting, it's several lines converging. But they all seem to line up with kind of these big monuments that have been built in Philadelphia.
Okay. Noted.
Okay. Louisa and Cal, is there anything that either of you want to research?
No, Cal's not researching.
I feel Songbird would pick up a book, probably see that there are a lot of words that are too big for her, and just go sit next to Cal for a little bit.
Okay. While Maddie and Percy are wrapped up in their research about ley lines and Ventru lineage, and Rowan's kind of like ping-ponging between the two because ADHD requires constant stimulus amongst different sources. I will let y'all have the last 15 minutes of this session to talk. We're going to start with Louisa and Cal.
And it's obvious that it's a grieving kind of expression on Cal's face, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah, she'll just kind of like sit next to Cal, but still giving him a little bit of space. If you ever need to talk, you can just reach out, okay? I recognize that look, and I don't know what you're going through right now, but I have a feeling I can relate.
I feel broken.
I see. I'm not going to push for you to explain any further, but I'm here for you if you need it.
He doesn't give an immediate answer. He just very much looks like he's just not there all the way. And it's just that he's trying to be conscious and answer. It's just whenever he's cognizant, he thinks about it again. He just gets progressively worse. So he keeps zoning out because he just doesn't want to think anymore.
Yeah, she'll put a hand on his shoulder to be like, don't force yourself to talk about it now if you can't.
Right. It snapped.
I see. I'm sorry.
Me too.
She'll offer him a hand if he wants to just like squeeze it.
He'll look at it for a moment, but he doesn't take it. It's not because of like her. It's something. It's definitely something to do with himself. That he's not taking it.
And then if he obviously isn't like in the mood to talk, she's gonna give him one last squeeze and then give him space.
And he's going to stare back off into space.
Okay. And with Maddie and Percy giving into certain parts of themselves, having fun at a library, making a new friend, potentially. Either with or against their will. It's Rowan is not an option.
No, we are friends now. Do not resist.
But with that, we will bring today's session of Philly by Night. So much to do, so little time, to a close.
Yay.